Big Poppy in the house. Today we're going to be taking 556 and we're going to be taking the crimps out of these two, like I said, 556. We're going to be taking the crimps out. I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see that, but here's your, your basic Dylan, the Swage your pockets and the crimps. So let me get a close-up on that. And then I'm going to show you what I did to make it a little bit faster. Okay, and like I said, this is a universal bench, and I've got these T-tracks here that I can actually mount different pieces of equipment to it. This one's got a plexiglass on the bottom of it, bolted to the Dylan Swage here, and then it's got the screws that you slide in the tracks. Got little knobs on it to tighten it down. Basically this process, let me reverse this a little bit. So these are the ones that need to be done. And for those of you that don't know what a crimp looks like, I'll try to do the best I can here. If you look at it, you'll see a little crimp inside there. Sometimes it's slightly red, a little bit orange. I'm not sure if you can see that. So what you want to do is try to take that out so you can put your primers back in. So here is a version of doing it manually. You got to flip that back, take that, flip it down, and make sure that you ain't got. You got to have that up, flip it down, come back. As you come back, this rod actually goes in and pushes the crimp out. Okay, lift it back up. We'll do a few here, and then I'll show you what I've done to eliminate this extra step here. It's got a bolt in the primer, so it didn't get the primer out. You'll notice the bench is not moving, everything's staying in place. I set this up to display the two versions that I have here. This one's going to be mounted the same way as the one I'm going to show you here shortly. This is going to be set up for your 308s. Alright, now let's move over to what I set up in my shop to eliminate one of those steps. Bear with me just for a minute. First of all, I'll tell you a little bit about it, and then I'll show you how it works. So if you want to make this, got my dimensions here. Make this one's just a little bit, as far as the width, is a little smaller than what I want, but it's 3 3/4 across on the width, and it's 8 inches from top to bottom on length. It's got 3/16 steel all the way around on the four corners and the top, and it's welded on the inside. Let's see, the other thing, it's welded, and on the inside of this, it's got a channel in it, and it's about a 1/2-inch tube, steel tube, that's welded inside here. And then what you want to do is drill a hole through the top here and through the bottom, and you'll want it about 1/4 inch away from the top of it where it's down. And then you're going to take a 3/8 nylon tubing, and you're going to put it down the inside that, and then the rope, the paracord here, rides on that Teflon, that plastic tube. Okay, so another thing what I've done is I've taken just a J hook right here, and I've actually drilled a hole through the plate here, stuck it through, put a nut and bolt washer on it. You'll notice that I got a spring here on the left hand side, and what I've done is I've taken a piece of metal. It's like them little braces that you can buy. It's approximately 3/4 inches wide and approximately around 2 1/4 long. You're going to take the part that comes out where you're taking your thumb, like you see me doing that manually. You're going to drill a hole through that, and you're going to put an eye bolt through the bottom underside of this and push it through the hole and put your nut on it. You're going to put another eye bolt over here, drill a hole, and you're going to fasten your spring to it. And I'll get you a close-up here in just a few minutes here. Okay, it uses paracord. Now, there's a lot of different types of paracords out there, and there's probably even one probably better than what I have. Sorry I don't remember what the numbers was, but here's a real thick type. Here's a real skinny type. The paracord is going to wear out, that you're going to have to replace it every now and then. I basically get about 1,000 rounds without having to come back and change that out. I've taken the steel bar, the handle, I've drilled a hole through it, I put another eye bolt in it, and I've tied it off with the paracord, just making some knots here. And then you're going to take your rope, you're going to hook it on the bottom of this eye bolt underneath the bottom here, run it up through that tube that I was telling you about, come out the top. Now, when you get ready to set that, you're going to take your handle and you're going to push it down. You're going to take this where it's manly and you're going to tip it out. So both the handle and your rod here should be like this. Okay? Now, when I go to knock the crimp out, I go up. This already slides back into the unit. Look, I didn't have to take my hand like you see me doing a manual. I go down. Again, you guys see my trays. Put it on here. When you go up, that rod's going down and taking that crimp out of that case. I have tried to go with different types of stranded wire. It wears out too quick, maybe 10 pieces of brass and it's shot. I've tried the wire that's got the nylon coating. It won't last. It only go about 10. The only thing I've found that's universal, the only thing is paracord will stretch. So it's the best thing I've found so far. If you find something better, let me know. But right now, I basically get about 1,000 rounds out of each time of putting that paracord on there before it's wore out and you have to put another one on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another one just like this, but it's going to be for the 308. Once in a while you have to push it in if the neck of the case is longer than normal, because it doesn't want to go back underneath where that rod comes down. So as I'm lifting up on this, that rod is going into the crimp. When I come down, it releases the tension. Now, a lot of people seem to think, well, that one didn't want to go at all. A lot of people think that you have to have a lot of tension on the spring. It's just the opposite. The spring that you want is just to be able to pop it out. And then when you go up to go to the crimp, you want the strength of that spring is to be flat with zero stretch energy on that. Okay? Come forward again. Some guys have got it set up where they can actually fling them, and it almost puts you in mind of somebody playing basketball. A couple on the YouTubes. I came up with this about 3-4 years ago, and I keep trying to make it better. But if I find something that doesn't stretch and it doesn't wear where it wants to break in half, I'm still looking for that fix. But like I said, usually when I sit down, I go through and do 1,000 rounds anyway. Let's see. Basically, to give you a starting point, for the paracord that's tied on the eye bolt underneath here, and going from the eye bolt and coming up through the metal plate here and coming out, a good starting point is going to be about 11.5 inches. That'll get you started. And as you're, and then I drilled 2 holes, and they went straight through, and I've got them bolted to the bench. So really, I've eliminated one step of having to manually always take and pop that open and pop it back in. And like you see, I mean, it doesn't take a lot of time to do it, and it doesn't take a lot of time to do it the other way too. It's just that I want to load a lot more rounds so I could do more shooting. So I try to simplify processes and tack times and biggest thing here is just getting that paracord tight, so it doesn't have a tendency to not keep the tension on that, to be able to pop it back in. Just a second, we'll do some close-ups of it. I'll move everything out of the way. And you can see, I think I can show you, the crimp is totally taken out of there. Don't even save your money as far as going to Lowe's and Menards and buying the rope. There's different types out there. They do not last. Save your money. I've already went through all that. Oh, one thing I did forget to say is this plate from here to here, it's only 1 inch in thickness. we'll finish up this tray real quick here. It's hard to believe that Christmas is almost here. And here it's cold. It's down about 18. Wind chill's probably, I don't know, 10. Okay, we got about 5 more here. Let me really zoom in on this. Bear with me just for a minute. So when your handle's down, this ought to be tipping out, so you can put another brass on it. I have seen on YouTube where some people use rubber bands. Throw a few of them on the floor. Let me push that in. I'll push this one in here. Let's give you a close-up. I'll take it off the tripod here. And so again, it's 1 inch from here to here. It's 8 inches from here to here in length. The width is 3 3/4. I would recommend that you make that 4 inches. Again, it's got the paracord on it. Nothing fancy. It's got a tube that goes down in through the square tubing that's welded in the inside of this bracket. You got the eye bolt here, spring running top to bottom with the hook here. You got mounting holes both sides, here and here. Here is where it's tipping out, and when you raise it up back, it goes all back in. Let me zoom out just a little bit more, and hopefully that's making sense. And then underneath here, there's your eye bolt on the bottom. You're going to drill a hole through your hand thing there, and you're going to drill a hole in this metal, put another eye bolt. Okay. All right. So if you like my channel, please subscribe. As always, keep supporting the sport and get shooting, my friends. And we shall talk to you in our next video. Thank you.